offsuit.
Option.
Calls. And with an ace-9 offsuit in the big blind, Sebastian Riviere checks. Four-way action to the flop. Again, not real common to see four players to the flop at a major tournament. 7-6-4. Misses everybody.
Check.
Great news for Chris with his queens. He took a big risk.
Bet 10,000.
It's got a good flop for him. He bets 10,000 into a pot of 10.4. Pot size bet from Chris Cornell. Ray Sanchez folds his king 10 of diamonds. And Shannon Shore, who has a gut shot and one overcard, although his overcard, of course, is no good, is going to give this some thought.
23,500.
Say again.
Wow.
Gonna raise.
He's put in a check raise bluff, 23,500. That leaves 13,500 for Chris to call. Bold bluff from Shannon Shore. Not a bad bluff. He is the small blind on a board like 7-6-4. That board could hit the small blind hard. This is the danger. This is what Chris has done. By limping in with his queens, he has put himself in this position. You let Shannon in cheap. He has almost any two cards.
Another 13.5 to call.
Your overcards are in danger. Chris gives it some thought. And he calls. Gives Shannon a shot at hitting his gut shot. 5 on the turn. It's a 9. That gives Shannon now an open straight draw. Hard to imagine he could get it paid off. Chris, of course, still with the pair of queens, the best hand. Now Shannon faces a tough decision. He's been called. Does he want to press the bluff? Troya Auto's visor. Back on the right way. He is going to press the bluff.
40,000.
40. Wow, 40,000 from Shannon Shore. Chris moves all in. Bang. No waiting, no delay. He moves all in. That's a brilliant play. That is a great play. Now, it could have been disastrous, but he's played the hand perfectly, Chris Cornell has. He flat called on the flop. He managed to suck another 40,000 chips out of Shannon on the bluff. Shannon folds. Wow, that's a big swing. That's the second chip leader, losing 65,000 chips to our chip leader and continuing in dominant position, Chris Cornell, who now has a stack over 450,000. Wow. Nicely played from Chris, the Tennessee Lumberman Cornell.
More hot action coming up from the Party Poker Canadian Poker Championships. Don't go away.
When you get one player who is all in and there has been a call, then the cards are turned face up in the table. This is not just for TV. This is in part to protect from the possibility of collusion. If you and I are partners and I want to give you some more chips, it would be very convenient if you were to move all in, I were to call and then throw my hand away. You win, you've got more chips, now the team is in a better position. So one of the reasons those cards come face up is an actual protect the players and keep the game honest, keep the game on the level, and keep the game from having pairs of players colluding. Still in level 14 at the final table. Small blind of 1,000, a big blind of 2,000, and an ante of 300. The button is in seat 1 with Eric Baldwin. With 8 players, of course, that means there is 5,400 chips in the pot before a card is dealt. There is your now dominant chip leader, Chris Cornell. Well over 400, approaching 500,000 chips for Chris. And of course, he just took a whole bunch off of the second place player, Shannon Shore. And that leaves Shannon down in the middle of the pack now. He's down to about 100,000 chips, so that'll move Troy Otto, who is in the 9 seat, up into second place. Close race with one dominant stack, Chris Cornell, who is out in front. Short stacked William Erickson folds. The Big Flick folds. American Airlines for Shannon. Does he want to get fancy with them?
Raise to 6,200.
No, he'll put in a standard raise. 6,200 with his aces. Doesn't want to try the fancy limp-in play that worked so well for Chris Cornell. Eric Baldwin, who's been patient and has enough chips he can afford to be patient. Kings, Pocket Cowboys for Ray Sanchez, the young Swedish pro.
Gonna raise.
And he re-raises, making it 20,000 flat. So it is 13,800 back to Shannon. Of course, he is not possibly going to fold. He's got the best possible hand pre-flop with pocket aces. Again, now here's a chance where he might want to now just flat call, set the trap. We'll see what he wants to do. He is going to take some time thinking about it. Pick up Mike Caro's Book of Tells. And Mike will tell you that anytime a player in No Limit Hold'em thinks for a long time and then makes a big raise, you better have the alarm bells going off. That's the standard Ray Sanchez stance.
Gonna re-raise.
Shannon does re-raise. That makes it 20,000 back to Ray Sanchez.
20, 30, 36.
All in.
All in.
Oh. Ray's moved all in with kings. Shannon's called instantly, of course, because he's got aces. Gives it the fist pump when he sees that he's ahead. He had to be ahead. The only thing would be a problem for him was pocket aces for a tie. It's the dream come true for aces. You get it all in pre-flop against a smaller pair. Ray's woken up with kings. No king on the flop. Ray Sanchez in big trouble. 2 cards to come. King on the turn. Wow. 2 outer for Ray. Shannon Shore, who's gone from second in chips to bluffing himself down to low stack, now faces elimination. Unbelievable. Ace on the river. Wow. That is a crowd pleaser. Oh, wow. A 2-outer on the turn, a 2-outer on the river. The aces survive. Shannon Shore doubles through to put himself back, I'm sure, into second place. He was down close to 100,000 chips. Ray has much the same. They're going to count him down. Ray is going to be eliminated or very close to eliminated. That's a shame for viewers because Ray Sanchez, who is a young Swedish pro, and there was a lot of people prior to the final table whispering in my ear, you watch this guy. Fans of televised poker are going to see more of Ray Sanchez. He's a great young player, playing all over Europe. Shannon Shore is a great young American player himself, but we're going to see more of Ray in televised poker when this is done. They're going to continue to count this down. Jim Miller, the tournament director, now steps in to expedite matters. Jim likes to play a little game where he looks across the room and counts down a stack, blink, counts it that fast, and he never misses. Ray Sanchez is covered. Ray is eliminated from the tournament. Wow, what a crowd pleaser. King on the turn to send Ray's hopes soaring. Ace on the river. You bet you give that hand a round of applause.